Welcome to Defying Dice, a weekly D&D podcast where me and my friends play Dungeons & Dragons. Our 7th episode starts with our party trying to stop a massive fire at their inn. But before we get into that, I would like to thank you for listening to our humble little podcast. We appreciate it very much. But I'd like to know your thoughts on our show. So please tweet at us at Defying Dice or on our page on Facebook. Getting some feedback helps us out and we'd love to hear you. We'd appreciate it. But let's get into the show. Enjoy. Last time, as we played, we had our adventurers go into a goblin hideout, take down the whole horde themselves, including the boss, and interrogate them. Find out that their owner, or management, upper management, was Clayton Shade, who was supposed to meet them at some point during the day. They then returned with some spoils. They ended up getting a very nice shiny metallic wand of some sorts, a potion, some gold, and a scroll. They then started making their way back out of the cave, found a goblin that they had left on a branch, hanging with a knife in the forehead.
We left him alive.
Yeah, they left him alive. He's dead now, with a paper in there that had an ominous warning from, apparently, Clayton Shade, with a symbol for nefarious deeds from the Thieves Guild. They then rushed back, our bard having a conversation with the paladin on the way, Kurnt, a friend they picked up. And once they got towards the town, they noticed billowing smoke come out, black clouds and the such, and a bunch of people panicking. As when they returned to the small town of Mosswood, the inn, the soft ground inn that they were staying at, was engulfed in flames. As everyone was panicking, you all decided to rush forward to see what you could do. You could see that there was the one barmaid, the one that Sparky had spent the night with, was trying to douse flames, trying to put them out. You could not find the owner of the bar, but you were looking around and people were panicking. Farmers were rushing in towards the whole inn to figure out what they could do to help. So we leave that at that as you all are rushing up, trying to figure out what to do.
Well, I will take my jug and start pouring water on the tree.
Okay, you take out my jug?
Yes.
You look at it and you go, water. And nothing happens.
Well, I just start using it as a regular jug and scooping up water out of the swamp.
The swampy water?
Yeah, dousing it.
Okay, it's very tough to get that as you're going, and you're going off to one side to where one of the roots of the tree reaches, and you're just putting on a small fire. It takes a little bit, but you are managed to do it. That alchemy jug has a certain amount of uses, and you use that prior to the day.
Yeah, I used that.
Yeah, you used beer and water, I think, when you tested it. What are you two doing?
I'm going up to see if there's any, people who need help out of the building or something.
Okay, so you're going to rush up to the door there?
Yeah, if I can see someone.
And what are you doing?
Yeah, I was going to go in and check to make sure everyone was, anyone in there was out.
Okay, so as you see your gnome druid take a bucket, whisper to it, and then quickly run over to the swamp, dipping it in water and pouring it on a small fire, you guys rush up towards the doors. As you get to the door, you notice that the one maid servant that is there, her name is Kristen, that you never really talked to, but she's there quickly trying to put out the flames towards the door, and she's in a panicked state. You can see her clothes are slightly torn, disheveled, and not in a general state that she'd like to keep it in. Her makeup is running down, and there's soot on her face. Looks like she has a few burn scars on her, and she's quickly trying to douse the flames on the wood door.
I'll just help doing that then.
Okay, so you go up beside her and try and help with the fire out?
Yeah, I'll try to put the fire out so we can get to the door to
okay,
check inside.
As you come up behind her, you startle her because she's panicked and freaked out. What? Yeah, help, quick. Bring blankets, bring something. We need to get in there. Landon's still in there. We need to get in there.
I scream to Vegeman and say, beat the door down.
Yeah, I come and kick the door down.
Okay, so as she's panicking, looking at you, you have a blank stare in your face. You're just kind of I don't, and as you're doing that, I need you to roll a strength check. Okay. You can see Vegeman bounding up with this intensity to him.
14.
14. You run up bounding 1 step, 2 step, and as the 3rd step comes in, you quickly, Alexander, push out the way of the barmaid, push her out of the way as this massive foot, boom, hits right through the door. As that brings back The sudden amount of oxygen to the area brings back a bit of a backlash. You take 6 points of fire damage as the flames rear onto you, but you don't really care too much. You can feel the burn, but you're ready to get in there. As you knocked her down, she is kind of still in a panic state on the ground, as your druid is currently throwing water onto a root. It is making progress. There is some fire dampening. That's good. But the tree is still, it's 30 to 50 feet in diameter. Still, flames are towering up 50, 60 feet.
I'll see if she's alright and then head in and follow him.
Okay. So you're rushing in?
Yeah.
Current now, as this is happening, is also following right behind you, trying to look for survivors. He's running up as quick as he can. You gotta check out the bar waitress, and she seems to have a few light bruises. She fell into the mud, so she's a little dirty at the moment, but she is still kind of panicked and in shock. And as you kind of leave her there and check her, she's okay, but you get the feeling that she could do some counseling. But you get up, kind of leave her, you kind of just give her a bit of encouragement, and then you start heading off into the doorway.
Mm-hmm. One thing I didn't, forgot to mention is I'm going to keep watch over the door too to make sure that it doesn't engulf in flames so that these guys can get out.
Okay, perfect.
I'm going to take watch over the doorway.
Okay, you keep watching.
Continue to douse flames.
Okay, and then as you're doing that, you kind of try to help direct some of the farmers as they're coming in to bring.
Okay.
It's a pitiful attempt at a voluntary fire department, but you are slowly making progress.
Good.
All these farmers you can see now a little bit sunken eyes. Their skin is darker, kind of palish. They don't look like the healthiest type of people.
Darker and pale.
Well, you can see blood spots, almost like bruises are on them, almost like
I get you.
they're not healthy. There isn't a perfectly healthy person in this. They're seemingly malnourished, maybe some sort of addiction or something like that. They look like a little bit like drug addicts, to be honest. And they are currently trying their best to...
Working in a pot farm might have something to do with that.
It might have something to do with it. They're trying their best to put out this fire, but it's not the best. But you're trying to organize that, keeping the area away. You kind of bring some dirt up, bringing it up so the fire can't come into that area. As you are the first one, Vegaman, to enter into the inn. As you walk in, your bar to the left, the stairway that goes up to where your rooms were, and the benches and tables are all engulfed in a bright crimson flame. It is hot, very, very hot. As you walk in, you can feel your skin start to instantly sweat and almost evaporate off your body. It is really hot. You look around immediately, and you do not see anybody in your immediate vicinity, but I make a perception check. 19. As you look around, you don't see anybody in the bar or in the dining area at all. The whole upstairs is engulfed in flames and almost impassable. The stairs themselves have been collapsed, and to get up to the upper rooms would take a feat of strength. You don't notice anything around. As you go further, the only other place that you could really see other than upstairs would possibly be the kitchen. You see Kern also running with his shield, kind of blocking away from the heat. He looks around and... Have you seen anyone?
No.
Upstairs doesn't seem like a good idea. Check the kitchen.
Okay.
And he rushes in forward, trying to hit the kitchen. So you and him both rush up. At this point, Alexander, you just get into this foyer and you see this engulfing the flames as your two friends just take off to the area. The bard is staying back with our druid, trying to help put the flames out and try and encourage the people best he can.
Did I overhear him say that he hasn't seen anyone?
Yeah, you would have heard him.
Okay.
Just at the tail end of it.
Alright, so then there's not really a point in looking in this main area.
No.
I can't head upstairs. So
You
then
go and look there. From you can see that the stairs kind of are half burned on fire, collapsing.
Somebody light enough might be able to get up there.
You're not there. You're currently putting out fires.
Yeah.
I guess I'll try it.
You run up to the stairs then?
Yeah.
Okay, as you get up to the stairs, it curved around the tree trunk that was hollowed out. The stairs that are just below have been collapsed. It looks like about a 7 to 10 foot distance with about a 5 foot grade up. It'd be a little bit tough to look up, and you can see it is smoky and cloudy in the hallway that is above where the rooms were.
If I yell out and say, "Is anyone upstairs? Can anyone hear me?"
You shout out.
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
17.
17. You do hear a slight "in here," but not from upstairs. You guys hear it a little bit louder as you're entering the kitchen, as Kurt rushes ahead of you with his shield forward, bashes through the door, and he runs up and he stops suddenly by the door. You hear that yelling as the door opens, and you kind of look that way. You, right behind him, notice, because you were a fair bit taller, you see over his head. You see that he stops just outside, just on the inside of the doorway, looking slightly upwards. You notice hanging there on 4 points on his wrists and his ankles, and like a starfish formation, is Landon Haywood. The owner of the bar is strung up there with probably 40 to 50 cuts all over his naked body, completely fresh, blood still dripping through some of it, with some burns now catching onto his body. He looks barely conscious, and you can see his one left eye is hanging out just by that little tendon of the eye. And you can make a perception check.
Yeah. 15.
You notice Kern has stopped, and where he stopped there is a slight divot in the floor. Very small, sort of faint to see, but you can see his foot is pressed in, almost like a tile pressed in, about a quarter of an inch. As you look at him, you can see there's a worried bit on his face. He's kind of looking to see what happens. And you notice on Landon, he also had it seemed like he has been tortured. Small knife cuts everywhere. And looking a little further down, it seems something has been cut off at some point. And he is bleeding out and does not look very healthy at all. You are standing there, kind of in awe, trying to figure out what happened. You can hear the very slight "in here" from him as you guys enter the doorway. Kern turns back to you and says, "Maybe stand back. I think I stepped on something. I'm not sure what it is, but I don't think it's good. We need to try and save him, so try to stay calm. Do you have any suggestions?"
No, not really. The only way is to take him off that wall and take him outside.
I agree. We don't have very much time left. It's getting a little warm in here.
Is there anything around that you can, like, push onto the pressure plate? Or what he's standing in?
Make a perception check.
12.
12. Looking around as you just enter in behind Vegaman to look into this site that's fairly gruesome, you look around, and in the back, it is a kitchen area where there is bits of food, sacks of flour, they're all on fire, fair bit of food, some cutlery, some dishes. You do find a very small cask just behind the bar that might be able to weigh. It's about probably 40 to 30 pounds. It might be able to press her down. You do find like a small little hand cask that is bulging at points.
I don't know, I guess we'll try it.
Okay, so what are you planning to do?
Like, I don't know. I don't have the strength to do it. If Vegaman kind of like pushes him off almost, and we like, or hold it down beside his foot.
I can lift my leg.
At the
I'm
same
not
time.
paralyzed.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain this.
We could do it quick if we bring it to the slide. I agree with that. We're not exactly sure if this is just a soft floorboard or tile or what it is. We need to try and get Landon out of here. He is not looking good.
Mm-hmm.
We can try that, definitely, yes. You bring that cask up.
Okay, we'll try that then.
Okay, so you take the cask, you bring it up from behind the bar, and you put it just close to his foot.
Mm-hmm.
I just need all of you that are inside that place to roll a Constitution saving throw. Current as well.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. A natural 1 for Alexander.
Yep.
Kurt manages to survive with a 13. You, with a natural 1, take
Just dying of fire,
3 points of fire damage. As you are just standing in the heat of this flame, you got a pencil? There you go.
Yeah. Thanks.
In the heat of the flame, you can feel your skins and your robes starting to burn a little bit, and it's getting a little too tense for you. You, as you're standing there, it's like a slight sauna, actually. It's kind of nice. You kind of get a little bit, you kind of just singe off your arm hair. You don't have to shave anymore now. It's just perfect. Same with Kern. He's getting a little hot in his armor, but he seems pretty fine against the heat. So you bring this cask. You can pick it up. That's fine. You bring this cask to the part where his foot is on the piece of pressure plate, and you bring it off to the side there. Current is looking at you, and okay.
We'll do it in 3, 2, 1, and I switch it.
Okay.
With his foot.
Roll a sleight of hand check.
I got 6 total.
6 total.
Yeah, I'm not rolling good today.
Okay.
You will burn and die.
So, all right. So as you were about to do this, you can see Landon is kind of half awake, conscious, and half fading. He looks at you and Clayton found out. He took off somewhere. I don't know where. He took my supply. Careful, I think he lit a trap there. Be careful. And as you start positioning this, Kurt very carefully lifts up his foot, and you push the barrel very slowly off the plate as his foot slides off. And the banding of the barrel starts to get a little too hot. The pressure builds up, and it pushes off on your hand. You flinch and push the barrel off to the side. The barrel tips over, rolls off the pressure plate as Kurt's foot slips off. The pressure plate lifts, and the people that are engulfed in the doorway, all of a sudden fire erupts from the sides, almost from arcane runes along the side of the door, just onto all of you. As you take...
The ones inside or myself as well?
I think it's on the kitchen door.
Okay.
10 points of fire damage to all of you in the doorway as just this magical fire trap erupts, scorching onto Current, Megaman, Alexander, and Landon. As you can see, Landon strung up there is on fire, skin peeling off of his body. He's agonizingly dying as he is on fire. Current, once this happens, immediately rushes up to him and cuts off his restraints, pulling him on fireman style, and looks at you with his hair half burnt off, singed to the side of his face, and looks at you. We need to get out of here now. Let's go. Mm-hmm. As he grabs the body and starts heading out.
Just run right behind him.
Yeah, you run right behind him. I need you guys to make a Constitution saving throw again.
7.
Ooh, critical 1.
13.
13. Okay, Alexander, you succeeded this time. You can feel the heat build up in you, but you seem fine. Megaman and Current, unfortunately, do not. You guys both take 4 points of fire damage, and Current starts coughing and falls to his one knee, putting his shield down beside him with Landon still on his back, and he is coughing, almost starting to pass out from the smoke inhalation.
Okay, I'm gonna come up, grab both of them and run out.
Okay, make a strength check. Because you have this human paladin in armor, and he's carrying another...
Natural 20.
A natural 20.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. After being caught on fire, kind of burning with the smoke, you just grab one, grab the other, bring them under your arms, cover them up, and start just like football charging through the door. As you guys are doing this, the druid is out there organizing as best he can with the bard, setting up people to quickly bring water as fast as they can from the swamplands, bringing them in, bringing towels around it to keep the edges or the doorway open for bringing people through. As you were doing this, everything is good until you see a very panicked, on fire sort of, soot-covered half-elf with your friend, holding his books to his side carefully, sprinting through the doorway with his bag along his by his hip. Behind him, a figure engulfs the door frame as this massive Goliath runs through the door with this almost emblazoned fiery bear tattoo on his chest, just lighting up as he's running through like a phoenix through the fire, carrying 2 bodies along the side, one heavily armored coughing, one unmoving charred corpse. rushing through the doorway, and just getting outside, bringing them about 50 feet past where the tree is on fire, and sets them both down.
I run up to each one and perform Cure Wounds.
Okay. So which one are you doing first?
I will heal Langdon first because obviously he looks worse.
Okay.
So I heal him by 12 points.
Okay.
And I heal our paladin friend by 12 points.
So you go first to Landon, and you lay your hands on him, and you try and focus your energy, the natural healing you can do. You can see some of the wounds start to heal slightly. The burn marks become new flesh, cleaning up some of the cuts a little bit. No response, but you feel like you've done your good due diligence. You go off to Current, and you lay your hands on his side, and you can see half of his face is currently burnt. You can see his eyes are bloodshot, and there's smoke coming out as he coughs. You put your hands on his head, look at him. He looks genuinely scared, but with a firm resolve behind him. And as you do that, you can see the scarring on his face, half side of his face, cleans up to fresh skin, unshaven. Like the stubble on his one side is not burned off, the stubble on the other side, completely clean. That's kind of funny, but you can see the light in his eyes restore, the bloodshot, and he begins breathing normally. As you guys kind of take a second to look around, you can see the fire is still engulfing the full tree. There is still no response from Landon, and Current immediately gets up and goes to him, lays his hands on him, and you can see a pulse of silverish bright light, and almost from behind him, right from behind his neck, you can almost see a pulse of a dragon head, almost a silhouetted dragon head kind of pulse back and then fade. He sits there for a moment, and you can see his head's kind of slumped down, and he turns and looks at you all and says, "Nothing left for me now. He's passed. Let's deal with the fire, quickly." And he runs off to help the others as best he can with the fire. What are you guys doing?
Throwing stuff on the fire, like grabbed a bucket and just...
Okay, you guys are just trying to do buckets?
Yeah.
Anything? Okay, yeah. So, you just roll a d20 real fast.
Natural 1.
What is with you and rolling, man? It's 2 20s and 1 1. Just there's other
3.
numbers on the dice.
I got 8.
You got 8?
I got the highest.
I got 3.
3.
Yep.
We all do a lot with that fire.
Oh yeah.
Over the next
The fire grows. No.
Over the next 5 hours, as it descends into darkness in the swamp, the light stays from the fire as it quickly engulfs the whole tree, bringing the roots to a charred charcoal ash, bright kindling as it starts to shift as the hours go on.
Are we... Sorry to interrupt.
Yep,
are we
okay.
trying to put the fire out on the tree still, or are we like just soaking the ground around it and the things so it's not going to spread to all the other...
At this point, I think the tree's kind of done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's just prevent it from
You guys-
taking out the more
The way
of the
I
town.
took it, you would say that before you roll what you're trying to do, or that would be I didn't think that. My mistake. As you guys were trying to, what I interpreted, put out the fire,
Yeah.
keep it from spreading,
Yeah.
you couldn't quite get the desired effect as the fire took the whole tree, engulfing it in flame, and over the hours, it wasn't a losing battle, but it wasn't a winning battle.
Yeah.
You managed to keep the fire contained to only that tree and one off to the side, but the main inn is unstable. The base of the tree is basically ash and charcoal. The top of the tree is currently on fire still and lighting a bright beacon of the damage that's been done. Eldon. That's not your name.
Gilbert.
Gilbert. Wrong person. It's been a long, long day. Gilbert, make a nature check.
Senior nature check.
We're rolling
6.
like shit.
6.
Yeah.
Man, that tree it's a burnt tree. Looks good. Anybody else want to look? Actually, I'm gonna roll for Kurt. He stands up beside you, kind of puts his hand on your head, kind of has to lean a little bit, and looks up, and tree seems fine to me too. We can rebuild this. And as this happens, you hear a solid as one of the roots, the charcoal brittleness shatters, and the tree starts to lean and starts to. I'm gonna roll a d20. It starts to lean and come fairly close to you guys as it starts to fall. Run! You guys start panicking, running, sprinting people. You can see the tree slowly comes down, and because it is a massive tree, it is taking a good few seconds as it slowly falls. But you do notice that there is one, it looks like very old, like 60-ish, scraggly hair, thin gray hair, lady with very, very sunken eyes is there kind of trying to pick up some clothing or a bucket or something, and she's just not paying attention to what's happening as this large chunk happens, and you can see she's just about 15 feet away from you guys as the tree is falling onto your position.
I'll run, and not like you see in most movies where they run down the tree.
Okay, you run right out. The Prometheus school of running away from things, you just run the opposite way. Diagonally.
Yes.
You run perpendicular, not parallel.
That's exactly. Yes. You run
and
bolting that way.
Try to help her and take her that way.
She is 30 feet away from you. So
okay, then I can't run that far.
Yes, you just bolt off the one side.
What's my movement? Oh, my movement's only 25. I probably can't make it away from the tree before it falls.
You can try.
I'm gonna try.
Are you going to go to the side, or are you going to go to help the lady?
I'm helping a woman, lady.
Okay, so you run up to the lady.
Oh, I aim for the doorway of the tree. So, like, Aladdin, the movie Aladdin, where the big tower is falling down and they hide in the hole of the window of the tower. Yeah. That's what I'm going to pull.
As you recall this thought of, that was a real good traveling band that I saw doing this show, you realize the doorway was right at the roots underneath in the roots. Oh. Not further up. You think of this as you can see the tree coming towards you. I need you to roll a d20 for an athletics check.
Alright.
Oh boy.
2! I'm dead.
So you're running towards the old lady, and you just get to her. As the tree is starting to fall down, you see, what are you doing, Vegaman?
I'm gonna go and run and save him and her because he's just stupid.
Okay, you and Kurt both look. Kurt looks directly towards the old lady, and the now panting.
I probably tripped.
The panting, tripping gnome of your friend, just as he face plants in front of this old lady, she kind of turns back, looking at him like, "What? What are you doing?" As you can see this Goliath trying to make an athletics check, just to make sure you can. I mean, you got plenty of movement, so.
Oh boy.
That's 13. Not a good sign.
13. Yeah. Not really too big of an issue for you, as you are a very strong person. You and Kurt keep in pace, both running towards them. You quickly. What are you grabbing?
I'll grab the woman.
Okay, you quickly grab your hand around the woman, bring her up, and very quickly kind of swing her around to the side of your shoulder. Not too gently, but you do manage to pick her up, and she kind of goes, "Oh!" As you start, and then you are currently just grab her as Kurt runs up, grabs the gnome by the back of his collar, and picks him up, and you both kind of look at a second as the tree starts to come down. I need just to roll an initiative.
Initiative, okay.
Of course, I had to get it too.
Mm-hmm.
5.
All right, as you were standing there, just grabbing onto this old lady, you look up and you can see the tree slowly kind of just falling down towards you, still on fire at the very top. Kurt grabs the gnome, pulls him back, and grabs just on the side of your arm, and "Let's go! Come on!" and starts pulling on you. The tree, within just the ass crack of space, you manage to just barely get past, taking 13 points of damage, of bludgeoning damage, as a branch hits you on the side, just coming through. You manage to run past, just barely in time, saving your life. And as you walk past about 15 feet from where the tree finally slumps and bounces a little bit, with the fire still crackling, people start rushing up to it to make sure that their friends, family are safe and putting out the fire on the top of the tree. You reach back and feel a very wet sensation as blood starts to pour down the side of your collarbone onto your chest.
Lady died.
You can see there is a branch that you didn't really notice the feeling, but it jammed through, impaling the old woman on your back. And as this realization, you lay her to the ground, not feeling the greatest about the whole situation. Current holding Gilbert by the collar, sets her down and runs up to her and lays his hands on her and tries to give another pulse. You can see that same silver metallic shine and the dragon pulsate from his back, but you can see her wounds close, and he's going to... Okay, so he manages... You can see that the healing comes out as he grabs the stake from her back, pulls it out, closes up the wounds, the blood starts to stop, the blood pouring from her mouth, dripping out, and her ears dries. You still don't see a breath. He quickly tries to think of some way. Can you any of you help? Anything? Know any spells?
The best I can do is cure wounds.
That won't help now.
Healing words?
She's a little far for that. Revivify, have you known of that?
Yeah, no, I don't have that yet.
Mouth to mouth.
CPR!
He looks at you dead in the... And he goes and starts working on the CPR, trying his best to save her. After about 10 minutes of him trying to resuscitate her, there is all of a sudden a... as life starts to restore to her laying on the ground. She is still coughing up blood and not looking the greatest, but she does start to breathe. And he sets her into a recovery position and gets some other people to help around to keep her alive.
That would help.
I just barely rolled, just high enough. It was within one.
Yikes.
You guys quickly set the fire out, and towards about 3 or 4 in the morning, the fire finally stops. The ash is blowing in through the wind with some bright kindling as it goes through. It's a very mournful time as you guys are realizing that nobody pulled the body of Landon from under the tree. And this old lady almost died, but was revived. And as you're standing there kind of contemplating, you also notice that no one was paying attention about the bard.
Oh, Sparky, no!
Who wants to make an investigation check?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make an investigation. 17.
17. You spend about 15 minutes as people are putting out the fire. Your friends are starting to do that, and it's almost a solemn, depressing state, really. You look around, and the tree was big, man. You can't really find anything. So after a few minutes of setting down, taking a breath,
Making sure that everyone else that made it out is alright.
as you were thinking this, a crowd of about 25 people, rough, the same sunken eyes, skin that's just pale, dark splotches of bruising all over their bodies, tattered clothing, approach you all. A few with buckets, a few with torches. 2 or 3 of them in the front have swords, In the background, you do see a few pitchforks. They start to slowly approach you as Current is tending to the old lady, his shield dug into the soft ground with his sword beside it. He's not paying attention to the situation. As this mob approaches you, the older man in the front with a very pale, thin frame, his red cloth shirt is just barely hanging off, and you can see the striations in his sternum. He has very little muscle, very little fat. He's a very thin, pale person, standing there and looks at you all and... You did this. This is our only place in town, and you destroyed it.
We had nothing to do with it. We were just trying to put
Oh,
it out.
really? You showed up in town a few days ago and this happens? No one comes to Mosswood and now it's fucked up.
Well, you have Clayton to blame for that.
He was fine until you showed up.
I don't see how it was fine as he ran you like slaves.
We were living. We had beer. We had some sort of entertainment.
That's surviving. It's not living.
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion. 7.
7.
Can never roll those. Every
It
time.
may have been surviving, but at least we had something.
Alright, I'm gonna try intimidation with this guy, since he's being mouthy.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna walk up to him and pick him up.
Okay, you walk up. This thin old man with a group of other 15 people, this Goliath with this massive, still almost on fire bear in a roaring position off your chest. You stand up in front of him, looking down, and you pick him up by the shoulders and lift him up to your height.
When we tell you we didn't cause anything, then you believe us.
Oh, that's very intimidating.
Roll an intimidation check.
21.
21.
All right.
It's hard to tell in his face. You're not one for perceiving such insightful emotions off of someone's face. But what you do feel is the quiver in your hands. As you are holding his body, this bag of bones and skin, you can feel a shake to his whole body as you say this. And you hear a slight dripping sound as you are holding him there. And he looks you in the eye, scared, stares down at your chest with this emblazoned bear symbol, and... Okay, maybe we can figure this out now. And as he's almost speechless from it, you hear another guy at the bottom. Oh yeah, hey, leave him down, be nice to him, alright? Look, we've lost everything. Set him down, please. We don't need another death.
Okay, yeah, I'll set him down.
Okay, you set him down. You can see he almost falls to his knees a little bit and kind of still shaky and looks up, face just pale and just terrified, kind of scurries back to the side of the crowd. You can see a few pitchforks are lowered. Ayo, right. We had a pretty good life. We farmed for Clayton. He gave us what we needed, kept us alive, for what it's worth. We didn't get paid much, but it was alive. We stayed with Landon. He was a good man. He kept us entertained, fed, enjoying somewhat we could. It's gone now. Clayton came in here. Something happened in there.
Well, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Landon wanted to take over Clayton's business.
Didn't know Landon was such a...
He didn't trust you guys because he knew you too well. He wanted somebody fresh and new, so he enclosed that information to us. Now, that led him, obviously, to his demise. That's a beef between him and Clayton.
You can see a few hushed murmurs in the crowd, kind of looking at each other, trying to discern this. And I think Landon knew this might be the result if he tried to stand up to him. Maybe that's why you were involved.
We just took care of some goblins that attacked us along the road. We had nothing to do with...
That's...
We're terribly sorry for all your loss and what has happened in this terrible night.
you two make persuasion. Actually, who wants to take... You would take the lead on. Make a persuasion check with advantage. Because he's helping you with this.
Are you kidding me? I got a 5 on that one.
There you go.
17.
17. You can see the majority of the crowd now is starting to kind of understand the situation. You can see a few, goblins, they're gone now, eh? And another was like, finally, they were terrorizing us. These different people in the crowds kind of talking to each other, getting a little bit more onto your side. Looks like
we only came here to help.
that would make sense why the goblins aren't here now. Normally they were his backup. But what do we do now? I mean, we have nothing. Our farms are... Clayton took the last we had.
Well, at least from now, you're as far down as you can go. The only way left to go is up.
Now you fight and take back what's yours.
It's not a bad plan, but where? How?
We will take you.
To where? We don't have... We're... Just
don't mind Vegemin. He's not exactly the most intelligent out of the group.
We fight.
Oh, I understand.
These
guys, calm down. We're not fighting. He's... Okay,
well,
sorry.
From what I understand,
big man. Sorry, whoa.
From what I understand, Landon was your friend. Clayton killed him, destroyed... I'm not sure how much of the town. I'll just say half your town.
Pretty much half the town. The only part of the town that was actually, nice was the...
So what are we going to do about it? We can't just let Clayton run around free after what he did. We got to bring him to justice.
And you can see, just behind you, Current stands up and a loud bang as he slams his sword against his shield, looks up. Justice must be dealt. I was here to take in Clayton. Heard of illegal dealings from him. I plan to still follow through with him. Does anyone know where he went? You look around the crowd, you see a very thin, same girl, that barmaid that was by the front. She steps forward, very solemn, her eyes just drenched through tears, makeup running down her face with soot and everything like that. She comes up and looks and... I do. He kicked me out of the inn, Clayton. I heard noises when he came and saw Landon. Last I heard, he took what Landon had in his basement. Most of the supplies that he was going to make an offering to try and sell to Farron. Clayton took that, his wagon, and fled to Farron, I think. That'd be the only place that was where his contact was. It's far, but that would probably be where he went.
It's the best lead we got, so we'll take it.
Yeah. He took a wagon and a horse, and I think it was just him. I don't know. He's a pretty tough guy. But
well, if it all sounds good with the rest of the gang, we'll take a day, help out the town, prepare for our journey, and we'll be on our way.
Okay.
Try to get you
Who all
some
wants to go with us?
supplies and stuff to
We're not...
rebuild.
She looks around at the people behind her, and we're not exactly fighters.
Well, the whole town banded together to come and confront us, and we're not the enemies. How much more of a resolve do you need to go after the one who killed your friend?
That's
They're farmers.
rousing speech, but you can see how easily we were swayed when one of you intimidated most of us. We may not be the best party for this.
Well, then we'll take whatever assistance you can give us for the next day to prepare for our battle with Clayton.
We will try. Maybe we can give you information on the road to get there.
Sounds good. We'll take what we can get and help each other along the way.
Do you have any way that we could, any knowledge, any way to restart something? Because we're kind of screwed now.
Well, we know of a woman that was in the area that seemed to know a good deal about farming.
Oh? Who is this?
A woman by the name of Magdalene. She might be able to help you. Has to help everybody restart the town and get the farm or the crops growing like they should.
Okay.
You just... if you do... You don't want to...
Cheat her.
Yeah. if you say you're going to do something for her, you probably should follow up on that.
Be honorable and no harm shall come to you, basically.
Okay.
Is there
Where
any...
is she? Is she in town, or I've
That's a
never
good
heard of
question. Her
her?
house disappeared.
Yeah, last we seen her, she was up at the far east end of it?
North.
North?
North?
North to Andrew's farm.
Yeah,
Andrews.
just past there. But
That would make sense.
She said she'd be around, so I just look out for a woman by the name of Magdalene. She was very attractive. Red hair.
Yeah, you can see her kind of give you a keen look and almost slightly worsen her sorrow as she kind of feels like, oh, all right.
is there anything that I would have known from, like, living in the city and, like, studying things on help, like, telling them how they could rebuild certain things?
What specific, like to rebuild their city or how a town infrastructure works?
Yeah,
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Roll a history check. Do that one. Natural one.
Awesome.
That was a good roll.
Yep.
Let's
Man.
do this game already.
Farming
Fantastic.
is towns. Man. Monopoly was good.
That, yeah.
Whatever that
that
is.
puts a damper on my plan.
I'll try, because
So what do
my
you-
father was a biologist, so I know something of crops and...
Okay, so you think how farm life works or what they could do?
Yeah, I'm gonna basically give them like pointers as to farms and crops and just
Okay.
general goods that they can perform to get some income coming
Roll a
through the
nature
town.
check.
Alright, let's get a better than what I did last time. Nature check, that would be a 17.
17.
Yes.
You recall as the teachings of your father with what he was studying, farms require a few things: good soil, water, sunlight. A swamp, not the greatest soil, not the greatest water, not the greatest sunlight. You do recall that mushrooms, fungi were good in mossy areas. You recall that there are some other crops, some cattails that are worth a little bit of money. There are other herbs that are used in spellcasting, alchemy, that do grow in swampy areas that would create a good profit. You start to recall these things, and you kind of look around in your area, even though it's dark at night, with the embers still from the torches and the burning tree.
Dark vision.
You can see some of those rarer plants. There's maybe one or two. You go up to them and you look at it. You feel like you could probably show them within a day or so how to actually grow these plants.
Okay.
And you remember with your studies that farmers, it's pretty easy to sell stuff if you have a trade going, a setup like that. So you suggest to the group that possibly getting up a trade route, sending some people out to run using this type of crops. You look at them and you realize that they have been growing and using their crops, and they are not looking good.
Yeah. I suggest a rehabilitation center
Okay.
for their crystal meth and magic mushroom consumption.
So, what do you suggest to us?
Well, one, you need to get some better crops.
Okay.
Two,
Like those ones you have, yeah?
yeah, like these cattails. They look like hot dogs, but they're actually very, very rare.
Oh.
And quite
You
easy
just
to
don't
grow
wanna
in the
eat 'em.
swamps. As you see, they're just growing on here. You guys can start farming them. You'll make some good money. And when you have supplies, you have to sell them. Now, there's obviously nowhere to sell them around here, so you need to get a trade line set up. Our friend Vegaman over here can teach some of your stronger, younger men how to defend
You
themselves
take a 15-year-old going,
so that they
kind
can
of pushes off to the side. Shut up, kid.
so that they can be effective and safe and on their trade route. I can teach you guys how to farm these probably within a day or so. And our wizard can...
He is looking up into the stars, thinking about how towns were in his books. Mm-hmm. That's about it.
And
Yeah, that would make sense.
And here our wizard friend is a perfect example of what you do not want to do.
And as you're talking, Kurt steps up. And for you all lot, maybe I can help you on the spiritual side. Help you become a little more good-natured. Let me show you. And as he goes talks to a few, and they can see that a few come off to him and starts talking, and he kind of shows them a few things, getting the morale up, basically.
Well, I go through the crowd, and I basically start making like little cliques or groups of people, and send, like I said, the younger, strong men with Vegamin, and I take aside the people, I guess, like the women and
We should probably have some of the stronger ones left so that they can
but
rebuild the houses.
They still need to learn how to fight.
Yeah, but
So we're only there for a day. They can postpone a day on building.
Okay.
And I basically start teaching my own class like my father did with me.
So you talk to them, tell them this is the group. It is also like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., so it's still pitch black out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So you can see
just
the...
like
Do like
you
a
can
real
see-
quick overview and say we'll continue
you
in
can
the
see
morning.
Kristen like, maybe we can just set up into groups and then meet up tomorrow.
Actually, that's a very good idea.
We don't really have housing for you all. Sorry.
that's fine.
We don't really have housing for ourselves, to be honest. We'll make do, but you might have to stay out with what you got. But we'll meet in the morning as early as we can
All right.
and see what we can do.
Try to get some sleep in
Sounds good.
a couple hours, and
As you guys figure out a campsite, you haphazardly set up an area where you can find some rest.
I set up in like the hollowed out piece of ground where the tree roots were.
Okay, we're all
Basically, where the
it's not a small. It is a crater.
yeah.
Water has filled into the area from the swamp, and it is almost like a small little pond at the moment.
Oh, are the tabletops above level or above
No, they're
ground?
inside the tree.
Oh, they're inside the tree.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was the tree was thick,
kinda got
big.
ripped out.
It
Okay.
dug into the tree.
Well, then I go into the hollowed out part of the tree that's like half burnt and
Okay.
try and like sit on the, I guess, the side of the counter.
That would be on the bottom part of the counter, I would guess.
Yeah, let's just assume that.
Yeah, you
that
can't
would-
really. It's been charred and burned and crushed from the crack of the thing.
something that's
It is a very small little tunnel that you can fit in.
something just above the water level that I can sleep on.
Sure. Yeah, you can get in there. There's a small little system near the roots, and it smells like soot, but you can find a little space there. What are you two doing?
I'm just gonna sleep wherever it's dry.
Wherever it's dry. All right, you climb on top of the burnt tree.
That's
Takes a
warm.
little bit. It's fairly high up, but you kind of manage to get yourself up there. And you sit and you look up, and you can see stars. For the first time in a few weeks, actually, as you were traveling, there's stars. It is a bright, moonless night. What are you doing, Alexander?
I'm just going to go up with, I'm assuming, Current,
Yep.
and just around the same area where he's.
Oh, where Current is?
Yeah.
Okay. What you see, Current, he goes up to another tree, not as big, but he sets up his shield off to the one side beside him and sets it into the ground, dug out, puts his backpack, puts it up against the shield in the tree, leans back with his sword beside him, and you can see him sit there for a bit and start to doze off, but then wake up, look up to the tree, and start scribing in a symbol. And after a while, he finishes, sets back, pulls out a necklace he has around his neck, holds it, and then sits and starts to fall asleep.
Okay, I'll just take out the bag of holding or something and kind of like put it behind me and like sit against that tree as well.
Okay, so you sit just 3 feet beside him, put that up behind there, and lean your head back, and
Try to fall asleep.
start to doze off.
Yeah.
Everyone, yep.
Before I go to sleep, because Buddy took a bunch of damage in that tree, I use healing words, and the words I say is, you did a good job today, Vegamin. Sleep well, and good luck with your training in the morning.
You feel very calming and warm as you get a nice 4 hit points
Yes.
back. As you start to kind of warm up under the moonlight, or under the starlight, and start to fall asleep. You all seem to have a restless enough sleep. It takes you about 8 hours, so around about 11, 10 is when you start to wake up and rouse. Everybody has a pretty crappy sleep, except for Gilbert, who, as he starts to fall asleep in the area, starts to hear a low humming. And it gets a little bit louder as you're trying to sleep. It kind of wakes you up a little bit. The humming doesn't stop. And eventually you hear a slightly familiar voice come to you and...
The sword?
I need a wielder.
Yeah, sword.
Oh, bloody hell.
You can hear it in your head. It sounds close.
Are you sleeping on top of him?
You start searching for it. Roll an investigation check.
Right.
As you get closer, you hear...
back.
I don't think that you
This
can.
way.
So if the sword's telling me where to go,
This
can I
way.
have advantage?
Sure.
Yes! Thank you. Sorry, what was it again?
Investigation.
19. I'm just a little bit out of it today. And 16.
Okay. It takes you not even 5 minutes. And you can hear, as you're inside of the tree, half collapsed, a little bit further down towards where the bark of the tree, the side where the wall was, you can hear the voice getting louder. Yes, you're getting closer. Closer. I need a wielder now. Still hungry. And as you get closer, you can see there's almost a slight black light. Like, a light is bright, usually. Around the edges of the light is bright, but in the center where the shape of the sword is black. Like a deep onyx, unnatural black. And there is light around the edge where the blade of the edge is. The edge of the blade is. You can see this pulsating slightly through the bark, and you kind of pull back as it's just charcoal. It's easy to pull back.
Yeah.
And you do see the blade there, still silver, bright. And you hear, please take me.
I pick it up.
You pick it up. As you go to reach for the handle, you feel a soft hand about the same size as yours release the blade into your grasp.
Sparky!
You know, kind of a silent moment, and you hold the sword.
I'm gonna try and take Sparky out.
Okay.
I'm gonna, use my daggers and spears and, chip all the charcoal away and try and get him.
Okay, you're using your own daggers or using the sword?
I'm using everything to get him out, whatever I need.
Okay, so you take the sword out, and it's not, you don't have to roll for it.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to do, and it's a little bit more delicate than you'd like. You take the sword and kind of cut through, and you notice it cuts the wood easily. The blade is good, it's sharp, it's honed, it's a nice blade. It's cutting through, no problem, and chips out, and within 15 minutes, you manage to uncover the body. It is pulverized, almost beyond recognition. But you do see the leathers that he was wearing, the same almost half-cocked smile, and the instruments are crushed. But you do see one small little harmonica that is still intact, but not much left.
Well,
You managed to...
I take all I can, get up to the surface.
Yeah, you managed to pull the body up, pulverize as it is, and bring it out of the tree.
Yeah.
Currently, it's around 5 a.m., and there's no one awake.
I don't know what to do. I guess I
Cover him in something
just
till the
I
morning?
guess cover him and
Okay.
go back to bed.
You take one of your clothes that you have, whatever cloth you can find.
And I take the harmonica with me too.
You take the
I
harmonica.
put the harmonica in my pocket.
Okay. Put that in your pocket, and you can write that down if you want.
Sparky's harmonica.
You put that in your pockets, and you cover up the body, set it out in a dry spot where animal won't take it, or water won't get to it, and you head back into the tree to find your rest. In the morning, around 11 noonish, you two, Megaman and Alexander, start to wake up. You can see Current is already up, standing, with his sword ready, and you can see he's kneeling on one knee, looking solemnly, holding his necklace. And stands up, ready and armored, and long day ahead of us, Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for your friend.
As am I. He will be missed.
Yes. I see someone has been discovered. And he points to the area. I assume that's him.
I would assume
He
so.
looks up and he sees Vegamin on the tree, scratching his ass, peeing off the tree on the other side. I'm not too sure about your other friend there, but it's understandable. He then starts to figure out, all right, time to find the people.
Mm-hmm.
You, what do you know? You know books, you know knowledge. Maybe you can
Yes.
talk to them about trade, something like that.
Yes.
Getting them to have a decent crop set up for years, for times. Maybe you know something. I'm not sure.
Yep.
That big man, he'd be good at setting up carts, maybe carrying something. I'm not sure.
Battle Royale.
You see him
not the
just
best time
roar
for
at the
that.
top of the tree. Battle Royale! Just freebirding it. Bringing a battle cry. You can see the townfolk almost kind of lighten up their mood after that. He looks and... your druid friend, Gilbert, I believe, right?
Yes, that's his name.
Is he up yet?
I don't know. I've been here with you. We shall go find him, though.
Sounds good. They kind of walk up to the area, and you do find there is a covered body, about gnome-sized, just not too far from where the tree was. No sign of Gilbert yet, because it's still a little bit earlier for him, because he had to wake up and dig for a while. So he is still sleeping at the moment. Kurt goes and grabs some town people and starts talking to them and figuring out what's happening. You do the same. Eventually, Gilbert does wake up, and you stumble out of the tree as you see Alexander is trying to talk with some of the older men and women, give them an understanding of what they should do, some ideas. You see Vegamin cutting trees and chopping them out, breaking them with his own hands, fastening these makeshift wagons, this fence, some tools, different things as you emerge from the tree.
Well, as I emerge from the tree, I pull out the sword and the harmonica, and this is what we have left of Sparky.
Ouch.
Not really. Our buddy just died, and that's all you can say.
We'll just give a moment of silence for our fallen friend.
That sounds good to me.
Do
Put
that
the
and then...
harmonica away and the sword back in its sleeve.
Okay.
Scabbard.
You can see Current gives you a very solemn nod, and it's tough. I understand. But we move past. We grow as people. We'll find this fucker. Alright, let's hit this town ready first.
Yes.
And you guys commence the rest of the day setting up them with farms, equipment, wagons. You get them basically settled up. I need you all just to roll a d20.
Let's get better than a 5 this time.
Natural 20.
A natural
Natural 20!
13.
13. That's impressive. So, invigorated, solemn from your loss of your friend, as you didn't know him for very, very long, but it sucks. Landon's dead. You almost killed an old woman. And your friend, your party is...
Landon.
Your party friend is missing. Or is
So I meant
dead.
a moment of silence,
Nobody
like
looks for
everyone.
Landon.
You guys, invigorated by that, you, Vegamin, with your group of people, you managed to build up a whole farm, basically. You plant the whole area around them. You make one beautiful farmyard that actually can be tilled and cultivated that would be way better than anything they've had before. You managed to set up a quick shelter where they actually all sleep in a group. Like, it is...
Like a long hut.
Basically, like, it's a spectacular amount of work done in the
Good
time.
job, Vegaman. Yeah.
Gilbert, you search around the area and you find not just like cattails. They are useful in some alchemy, but you find some very, very rare herbs
Nice.
and roots.
Also, while I'm doing this, because I have my herbalist kit, I'm also teaching them how to make a few simple potions as well.
You manage to show them exactly. You find some of these old, broken down trees, bits like that, some fungi like that. You show them that if this is distilled properly down, it can be made into a fertilizer to help grow crops. The faint glowing essence to them almost magically increases the growing capacity. You show them all of this, and they grasp it actually a lot quicker than you expected. You manage to bring them up and find a very expensive crop, setting them up for what it is, some food crops, as well as profiteering crops, or profitable crops. they seem to be actually understanding exactly what you're telling them, and it's almost unnatural how quick they're picking it up.
Natural 20s.
Alexander, you show them how economies work, how trade routes should be designed and figured out. You show them different political structures, a town economic system, how government should work. There's a few that don't quite understand how it's all working, but over the day, they start to realize that, oh, okay, we can figure out a system like this, govern it out. You even show one person that, yeah, this is how you can figure out a bar, a situation like that. And you can see a few more people. The spirits have been lifted. You can also see Current is setting up with a very small law enforcement system. He's setting them up with how crime is, good, bad, keeping them in line, understanding what it is, curing them slightly of their addictions, getting rid of some of the poisons in their systems. You can see they're starting to get a little bit better as you guys are healing them. Over the day, everything seems pretty well. The townspeople start to welcome you and view you as friends. Within the day, they set up, they're happier, they make small little shelters. You guys did a good thing. You can see Current is happier, the townsfolk are happier. There is a solemn moment as you bury the dead. There was 3 others that died in the fire and the falling of the tree, as with
Sparky and Landon.
Sparky and Landon. Landon's body was never recovered.
Well, it's kind of buried by 10
Yeah,
tree.
it was a little bit tougher with no beacon to point it out. There is a slight memorial just outside of town for them. If there's anything you want to say specifically for that, if not,
Just
you just bury it. And
couple, I can't think of any right now, but like meaningful words towards the people that are still alive. Send off, I don't know.
just a quick little send off, a few words to give a little bit more hope that this is fallen, but we can still grow from this to learn to be better for as it goes. As the day draws towards the end, you all get to sleep in a little bit better accommodations this time. You've managed to make small little beds,
Not in a tree.
huts. You're all in a communal house, as that's what you built for everyone. And you feel pretty good. You guys have a good rest. Everyone sleeps well for that night, and on the next day, as you wake up, most of the other people in there are gone. And it's just all you 4, with Current in there. And you...
It sounded like making him in past gas.
There's a dog making a whining sound.
Oh, dogs.
You 4 Current with you are all still sleeping. As you wake up all together, you step out of the lodge, getting ready as you're planning to head out today. And you can see one of the wagons that you built for them is set up ready with a few provisions, something, whatever they have left, some trade goods. And they look over to you all, and you can see they're kind of a few hats that they have off. Their clothes are a little bit better set up, more brighter faces. They look at you all and thank you. We appreciate the help. If we could ask one more favor. They look at you, Megaman. Could you... I know it's a bit to ask because it might separate you all, but could you take this cart? We don't have any beasts of burden, but you could possibly take this. There's a town a little bit further to the north of here. We might be able to get a trade route set up with them, but none of us can really leave. We're not strong enough to pull this. Would you be able to take it?
Yes.
Okay. We appreciate that. You do know that your friends, if they're seeking to get Clayton, they're going to be taking them western. Okay. Well, we appreciate that. If you can take this, and as soon as you come back, bring back with the goods, and then maybe you can catch up with them, but we'll see. We appreciate it. Thank you. And he looks, and as you guys are standing there and Current's set up, looks to you. It's good that you're doing. We appreciate using your strength for this. Hopefully, we'll meet you again. Anything else you have to say to him? We should head off to Farron. We have a long trip ahead of us.
Shake a few hands and say, I don't know, good. I don't know
We'll
what.
miss you, Vegaman.
Yeah.
I hug his leg.
You hug
That's
right
all
on
I
his
can
calf.
reach.
You almost get a slight dick to the forehead, but you're okay.
That tall.
You're not that tall, but he's that hung.
Like a horse.
You can see the Goliath standing there, normally stubborn, strong, this massive bear, fresh tattoo burned into his chest. You can see a very slight little tear up, but then, nope.
Big man.
As he grabs this cart that is probably about 400 pounds, lifts up the side carts, puts the, what's that called, yoke? Yeah, puts the yoke over his shoulders, and starts heading off down unproven trail, heading north towards this town. You guys are now set as your Goliath friend left. Kurt standing there beside you, looking you. Time to head back home. Let's head out.
All right.
Okay, so at the end of the show here, I just want to clear up some few things. First off, I want to thank Syrinscape. We used them for our sound effects while we were doing the game. I had a bit of a problem at the start of the show where it was a little bit too loud. That was my bad. I got that figured out, and it'll be much better last time. This was a very quick recording. We did it one night after work. Everybody just kind of showed up. It was more impromptu than we'd like, but we wanted to get an episode out for Monday. Hopefully you can bear with us for that. The next few will be a little bit more prepared and ready for it. Because, as you may have noticed, we lost 2 of our members, with Sparky being killed and Vegaman setting off to help out the town a bit more. The 2 players that we have in our group became too busy, work became an issue, and they just could not spare the day, had to bow out of our programming, but we wish them the best. Everything is good otherwise. It's just now we will just have Alexander and Gilbert and myself who will be part of the show, but we will consistently release an episode every Monday morning for you guys to enjoy. That's what we want to do. That's our main focus, and so far we haven't missed one, and we don't plan to. So thank you for listening. We really do appreciate it. Hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of our show as we go along. We may have a few guests here and there, but for the most part, it'll be us 3 as we play. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you next episode.